Tonight, some big stories ahead, including a surprising Dancing with the Stars cast member, a high-profile NFL arrest, and a heartbreaking loss in the Clemson family, right here on Clemson News Now. Good evening, and welcome to Clemson News Now. We are so excited to kick off our first episode of the semester. I'm Mara Kane.
And I'm Reagan Carey.
First up, Anna Delvey, the woman who made headlines for scamming New York's elite, has been cast on the upcoming season of Dancing with the Stars. This has sparked a lot of controversy, especially since she's still under house arrest.
Yeah, it's not every day you see someone competing on a dancing show with an ankle monitor. Delvey, whose story was made famous on the Netflix series Inventing Anna, will be participating in the show from her apartment. Special arrangements have been made to allow her to perform live.
It's definitely causing a stir. Some people believe she shouldn't be given this kind of platform, considering her criminal record, while others are just curious to see how the twist will play out during the season. Dancing with the Stars has been known for pushing the limits, but this might be a step too far for some fans.
Well, we'll see how it plays out. What I'd like to talk about is Clemson's historic game against App State this past Saturday. What a weekend for Clemson fans, as the Tigers set multiple records in their game against the Mountaineers.
Clemson set a new school record for most points scored in the first quarter and tied for their most points scored in any quarter with a solid 35. They also set a new ACC record for most points scored in any half with 56. As for the yards, the Tigers set yet another new record for the most yards in any half with 525.
Cade Klubnik may have had the best game of any Tiger. He became the first player in 25 years to finish a game with at least 90% completion rate, 5 passing touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns. This, along with his 378 passing yards, earned him the ACC Co-Quarterback of the Week and the Davey O'Brien National Quarterback of the Week award. It sure seems that Clemson football is back and better than ever. Congrats to the Tigers on such a record-breaking game. Now, let's turn to some news straight from the NFL. Tyreek Hill, wide receiver for the Miami Dolphins, was arrested earlier this week after a driving violation right outside the Hard Rock Stadium.
Police arrived on the scene after Hill was reportedly spotted reckless driving. Hill was taken into custody and cited for reckless driving and driving without a license. The Dolphins have released a statement highlighting the importance of not using unnecessary force against NFL players. One of the officers that was involved in the arrest, Danny Torres, has been placed on administrative leave after the arrest against Hill.
Despite all the chaos of the morning of, Hill dropped 7 receptions for 130 yards and was able to score a touchdown for Miami. How about that for a turn of events?
Hill is no stranger to controversy, at least, and this latest incident proves just that. The league is looking onto it, and we'll keep you updated as more information comes in.
Transitioning from national sports to the ones right here at home, Daniel, how are those Clemson Tigers looking this week?
After a tough week for Clemson football in Atlanta, the Tigers bounced back in historic fashion, defeating App State 66-20. The Tigers broke a program record, putting up 525 yards and 56 points in just the first half. The offense blowout was led by quarterback Cade Klubnik, who made some history of his own. On Saturday, Klubnik became the first quarterback in 25 years to have 5 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and a 90% completion rate. These impressive numbers dubbed Klubnik many titles this week, including Davey O'Brien National Quarterback, ACC Co-Quarterback, and Walter Camp Offensive Player of the Week. On the receiving end, Bryant Wesco and tight end Jake Brenningstool each put up over 100 receiving yards. Bryant Wesco scored his first touchdown of his career on an electrifying 76-yard catch and run. On the defensive side, freshman linebacker Sammy Brown had an insane 9 tackles to put the nail in App State's coffin. Coming off their bye week, the Tigers look to keep the win streak going as they face unranked NC State at noon right here in Death Valley. Speaking of wins, women's cross country took home first place this weekend. No surprise here, the Tigers had the top 3 finish times. Sylvia Jalego and Judy Kosge took first and second place, finishing within half a second of each other. Gladys Chepnigtich came in shortly after, taking home the bronze. The men's team also had a great meet with 4 finishers in the top 10 and won second place overall. After rounding out non-conference play with a 4-1-2 record, women's soccer is now beginning district play. On the men's side, Clemson United blew out Loyola 6-0 on Tuesday to bounce back from a frustrating 3-2 loss against Stanford. Women's soccer is now beginning district play after a winning record in the preseason. After a successful season last year, ranking number 5 in the country, we're sure excited to see what the Lady Tigers have in store for this season. That's all for Clemson Sports. Back to you, Reagan.
In more serious news, on Wednesday, September 4th, 4 people lost their lives in a mass shooting at Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia. The shooter, a 14-year-old freshman, reportedly smuggled an assault rifle in his backpack before opening fire, which led to 4 deaths and 9 people injured. The shooter has been detained and is charged with 4 counts of murder, among other charges. The 4 victims, Christina Irami, 53, Richard Aspinwall, 39, Christian Angula, 14, and Mason Schermerhorn, 14, were honored at a vigil at Jug Tavern Park in Winder, Georgia on Wednesday afternoon.
Our thoughts and prayers are with all of this affected by the tragedy.
Some recent local news has grabbed the attentions of citizens and students alike. After nearly 20 years of service, the Seneca routes of the Clemson Area Transit Bus, better known as the CAT bus, will be shutting down.
On July 13th, Seneca City Council voted to end the CAT bus service in an undisclosed date in September 2024. The decision to shut down this service was primarily due to the fact that Proterra, the manufacturer of Seneca's entire fleet of buses, filed for bankruptcy early in August of 2023. Proterra has been supplying electric buses to the city of Seneca since 2014, but due to financial troubles, has failed to provide the parts to keep the buses running.
According to Councilmember Ernest E. Riley, it could cost between $7 to $10 million to rework the Seneca bus system to continue service. In the meantime, the city of Seneca is exploring alternative transportation options for its residents.
Heading into the upcoming week, let's check on our weather department. Riley, what's the weather looking like in Tigertown?
Well, Tigers, it looks like it will be a rainy week this week, so be sure to have your rain gear handy. We will see some thunderstorms and wind Saturday night into Sunday morning, with temperatures in the mid-70s. As the week begins, the rain will become scattered before clearing by Thursday afternoon. Temperatures will climb throughout the week from the mid-70s to the mid-80s, with lows in the mid-60s. Looking ahead to next week, the scattered showers will look to continue, with highs in the low 80s. Have a great week, Tigers. Back to you.
Now we move to a heartbreaking story that hits close to home for all of us here at Clemson. Former Clemson wide receiver and 2-time national title recipient DeAndre Overton has passed away.
Overton played for the Tigers from 2016 to 2019 and was a beloved figure both on and off the field. He was known for his talent, leadership, and big heart. Clemson coach Dabo Swinney said in a statement, "He truly was one of the greatest spirited kids that we've had come through the program, and a truly great teammate, and my heart hurts and my prayers are with him and his family." Dabo also highlights Overton's historic 3-touchdown game against Boston College, a memory we will all remember fondly.
Former Clemson teammate and current Green Bay Packers wide receiver Amari Rodgers shared his thoughts on Instagram on the incident, stating, "Life isn't fair, man. Please tell your loved ones you love them because you never know what will happen next."
The Clemson community is coming together to honor Overton's memory, with many of his former teammates and friends sharing stories of his kindness and positive spirit.
It's clear that DeAndre had made a lasting impact on the Clemson family, and his legacy will live on. Our thoughts and prayers are with his loved ones.
That's all the news we have for you tonight. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next week. I'm Maura Kane.
And I'm Reagan Carey, Clemson News Now.